everybody, it's Catherine from Jaynecatherineonbooks, and I'm here with a bit of a review wrap-up of what I've read recently. Now, some of these will be going back before Christmas because I'm trying to catch up with me being off. But yeah, I'll go through. I've got 5 today, and then I've got a few more to come in another video. And hope you all had a good Valentine's yesterday. I had some nice books off David, which I'll show when I do the next haul. And the other announcement is, don't forget it's March Mystery Madness. Yes, next month, March Mystery Madness. Now, I'm not hosting. I have hosted for the last 3 or 4 years. I declined this year because I've got loads of stuff going off at the minute. So I just wasn't able to dedicate to actually hosting. But I shall still be doing March Mystery Madness, and I will be picking out loads of lovely mysteries for the month of March. Now, a couple of queries about what my TBR or what my intentions are for this year. I'm going to try and read off my shelves. So I'm going to carry on taking some books, my TBR, off my physical bookshelves, but mainly I really must get my Kindle books down. I've got loads and loads of books on there that I need to be reading. And you know what it's like? You know, it's 99 pence, a bargain with Kindle, get this book for 99 pence. And before you know where you are, you've got 300 books. So I think I need to, start having a go at those as well. So I'm not setting any other goals because, again, we're still in this weird time. We are back in national lockdown here in the UK, so I'm reading as a fancy really, and as you know, my TBR is very loose. I give myself about 12 books for the month to choose from at random, and I make sure that I've got a nice mixture in there of different genres. So without further ado, what have I been reading? Well, the first one, beautiful cover, but I have something to say about that in a minute. Sibanda and the Rainbird, and this is by C.M. Elliott. Excuse me, and I think this was advertised. I don't know if it's I don't think it's a Richard and Judy book, but I think it was one that was advertised with W.H. Smith as a really interesting one to read. Now, looking at this cover, it's a beautiful cover. It's very flamboyant, it's very colourful, it likens it to Alexander McCall Smith, and here lies some of my problem. It is set in the national park in Zimbabwe, and it is a murder, but it is quite a gruesome graphic details in here quite early on, and I think you're lulled into a false sense of security. One, by the cover. It's very cosy looking, I feel. And also a likening it to Alexander McCall Smith. Now, if you think about the Ladies Detective series, love it. I love that series. But they're all, you know, nice cosy crimes, tracking down unfaithful partners and things that have gone missing and stolen and that sort of thing. I thought this was going to be quite a cosy murder, and it isn't. It's quite gruesome. So it says in the blurb, it's the DI, the Detective Inspector Jabalandi Sibanda. It says a hard-boiled, bush-loving, instinctive crime fighter is on the case, with his Sergeant N-Cube, an overweight, digestively challenged, several times married, angler and mechanical genius. I gave it 2 stars. I didn't finish it entirely. I didn't warm to the characters, so for me, for a series to work, a crime series to work, really in the first book I need to feel something for the characters. Either I dislike them or I love them or there's something quirky about them. I found that I didn't particularly care about Sibanda, and you are a vulture, because obviously they have vultures there. The vultures are circulating, and you're given quite graphic detail what this body looks like. And you know, I'm used to some hard gritty stuff, and you know, you watch Silent Witness these days on the television, and you know, it's very graphic, looking at corpses and cadavers and things. But it was a shock because I was expecting something a bit more light and fluffy, and I felt the author was let down, because I think, and you know, I haven't had a book published, so that, you know, for me to be saying, oh well, there's plot holes in it, and I think it wasn't edited very well, sounds a bit wrong, but I felt that was the case. There were plot holes there were inconsistencies that didn't make sense. Some information was not didn't tally in a different chapter to what you've been told in another one, and I just really felt it was a letdown, and I don't think it's been marketed really to the best it could be for something that's quite hard boiled. Okay, so that's that one. And then next I got this one for Christmas from my stepson and his partner and the grandchildren. Richard Osman, Thursday Murder Club. I've been wanting this one, and it's had a lot of hype. I mean, we know Richard Osman because he is on the television. He does a lot of quiz shows and that sort of thing here in the UK, and I don't know what I was expecting. He's very intelligent. The quiz shows that he's on, you can definitely see that he's a mine of knowledge and information. Never seen anything that he's written. And what do I think of it? Well, it's going to be a series. I want to carry on reading the series. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I think it's very funny. You can't help but laugh. Now, whether everybody outside of the UK will get the English humour in it, I'm not sure. It's set in a retirement village, a very posh, you know, as very high class, very expensive retirement village, and it's one where there's all sorts of clubs and activities and things go on. And on Thursday nights they have a murder club. Now, there's characters in here that used to have dealings with the police and forensics and things like that. So, you know, it's quite strictly run. You know, the sort of thing. People might be turning up for a bit of fun for a Thursday murder club, but it's quite strict. They're really serious. They really want to get to the bottom of it very seriously, and they're very strict to who they let in. Anyway, there's a place becomes available, and as you go along you get to know these group of friends. Took me a while. I really have to say I was well over halfway before I felt any sort of attachment to these characters. I did struggle to get into it because I don't know really. I don't know why, that I just couldn't get into the characterizations. The other thing, the plot's fine. They've got a real life murder. Usually they've got these old cases that they try to solve, but they've got real life murder going on, and it's so funny as well. It really is funny, but it's got that British humour about, and you know, some people might say, oh, it's a tongue-in-cheek look at ageism, really. Is it ageism? Is it making fun of the elderly? Or having worked in the care sector and nursing for so many years, when I've done agency work in some of these retirement homes or nursing homes or what have you, it's very, very true to form. It does follow what it's like. You do get this mix of characters, and just because they become elderly and go in these places doesn't mean that they're suddenly all going to become nice, does it? You know, they are true to character, and it's just funny. It does make you smile. It'd be interesting to know if any of you guys that's read it outside of the UK, what you think to the humour, whether you find it funny or whether it translates. Does that sort of make sense? Whether it translates to outside of the UK. Nevertheless, it is a good book. It's not as good as I wanted it to be. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. But again, we get this, don't we? We get all these overhyped books, and I mean, I didn't go into it with any expectations because I wasn't sure what I thought I was going to get. I think as we get along, I shall give book 2 a go, because I think this is very much a first. I don't know if Richard Osman, I think it's his first novel. I don't know what else he's written. Whether he is a presenter and a producer of television programmes here. So whether he's written stuff for the television or newspapers or whatever, I'm not really sure. We'll see how his second novel, I shall give it a try, but I should be expecting it to be, you know, the plot to be slicker and the character development to be so much more improved, I think. So that's the Thursday Murder Club. Next one, I wanted to include this because it was a 4-star read for me, even though it was a Christmas read. So the Canal Boat Cafe, and this is by Cressida Mclaughlin. This is the Christmas edition. There is a Canal Boat Cafe. Now, I really enjoyed this. Often I like these fluffy Christmas reads in December, and you expect a good romance and the writing style to flow easily and to be entertained, I suppose. And I feel that the writing was exceptional. It wasn't quite there to give it a 5-star, but I enjoyed the premise of this taking place on the canal boat, and I believe this is a series, so I want to read more. I'd like to read, let's have a look, the Canal Boat Cafe series. Apart from this Christmas edition, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 in the series, and I would actually like to read those because I've very much enjoyed the plot. I very much enjoyed the pacing of this and the writing style. It was good fun, a lovely romance, and this lady has written many series. Primrose Terrace series, the Once in a Blue Moon Guest House series, the Canal Boat Cafe, the House of Birds and Butterflies, the Cornish Cream Tea Bus, but that's good on the bus, and the Cornish Cream Tea Summer. So I thought, I'd not read anything by Cressida Mclaughlin before, so I thought I'd recommend her because I did really enjoy this. There was something more substantial to the writing. It wasn't just a chick lit. Enjoyed it. Then next, I'm late to this party. My Serial Killer. My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan. I hope that's correctly pronounced. Oyinkan Braithwaite. Loads and loads of hype about this. I gave it 4 stars. It's funny. This is funny as well. Most of you will probably have heard of it, but we have got Cressida, who is a nurse, and her sister is always ringing her up out of the blue, come and help me because I've murdered my boyfriend and I don't know what to do, can you come and help me? And it's it's really quite, to say it's about a serial killer, the sister, and the content of it, it's still quite funny in places. It's lovely writing style, very easy to read, the flow and pacing's really nice. But there's a bit of a problem because Karodi is sort of got a bit of an infatuation with the doctor at the clinic where she works. And one day a sister comes, what's the sister called? Ayula. She comes to see Karidi at work and decides that she likes the look of this doctor. And so she makes a play for him. But of course, that worries, it's bound to be a bit of a worry because she doesn't want him to be done in. No, she doesn't want her sister to do him in because she fancies him herself. And this is, the premise as this goes along. I can't really say much else about that because it'll give too much away. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not enough to give it a 5-star. I did like the characters. There wasn't such an emotional attachment as to warrant the 5 stars for me, but still a very good book, well worth a read. Very, very good piece of writing for a first novel. So that's that, My Sister the Serial Killer. And then finally, for this video at least, my 5-star, Away with the Penguins. And look how lovely this is. Now, I'm going back to what I was saying about the first book, that I really don't like it when part of the advertising and the launch is, this is the next, the next Sarah Waters, or this is the next, like that was Alexandra McCall, this is the next Eleanor Oliphant. Now, Eleanor Oliphant, loved it, gave it 5 stars. Away with the Penguins, I loved it, I gave it 5 stars. But it's a book in its own right. It's nothing like Eleanor Oliphant, I don't feel. Yes, we have quite a quirky character in it, like Eleanor was. But I feel that when part of the I'm trying to think of the word, the marketing. Part of the marketing blurb is, this is just like this book and I compare it to this, so you'll love it. I think it lets the author down somewhat because I think people are expecting it to be exactly the same and it's nothing like it. Apart from the fact we've got this, a bit of a eccentric character. So in this we've got Veronica Macready, and she's quite a wealthy lady. Never goes anywhere, doesn't like spending her money. She sits and watches wildlife documentaries all day on the television, wearing her red lipstick. So bless her, she's never seen without a red lipstick, even though she hardly ever goes anywhere. And she's 85 years old, and she's a bit of a character. She hasn't really seen a family for years, and there's a bit of a family drama mixed up in this. She has got a grandson, I think it's about in his early 20s. Anyway, she watches this wildlife programme, and they're wanting help with this particular project that's happening I think it's in the Antarctic. Might be the Arctic or the Antarctic, I can't remember, one of those. And it's to save the penguins. And she's really taken with this and decides that, well, I've got all this money and I ought to really be putting it to good use to save these penguins and to save this project. But the thing is then, she doesn't just say, right, I'm going to donate some money. She sort of gets in touch with them and says, well, actually, I'm going to come out and spend some time with you in the middle of nowhere in the Antarctic, minus whatever degrees. And that's it. She tells them, you know, this is when I'm coming, this is how I'm arriving, until they find out that she's 85, and goodness me, there's a right panic on. And of course, you know, I think it's marvellous. You know, somebody that's got that freedom of spirit, age 85, and doesn't worry that she's going to be miles away from any sort of medical attention, because she's not without a medical problems. But anyway, it's too late. They try to say she can't come because they don't want the responsibility. But then she turns up. She turns up, and the plot continues from there. It's very heartwarming. You can't help but like Veronica, and I think, yes, this is probably where they can say it's very similar to Eleanor Oliphant. She is a very you get to like her. At the beginning you think, oh, isn't she a funny old devil? Goodness me, I can't warm to her. But you do start to warm to her. And there's also, she has a nice relationship with one of the scientists there, a young woman, who's the only female there. And sort of the family drama is all interweaved. And yeah, I'll not tell you any more about that because it's a big part of the plot. But I loved it. The writing is beautiful. It really is sort of showing what we should value in life, you know. And she's got all this money, but she's very lonely, and she wants to help out in whatever way she can to leave her mark on the planet when she's gone. She's got this great free spirit for somebody who's 85. I think it's a lesson we could all learn, and I highly recommend it. It's by Hazel Pryor, Way with the Penguins, and yeah, if you've not heard of it, go and have a look at this, because this is, out of all this lot, this is my 5-star read. So there we go, and hope that's given you a bit of food for thought. See if there's anything there that you fancy doing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, see you again next time. Take care out there. Bye for now.